It is I, your honorable sensei, and across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And together we are Longturnlarry Podcast. And today we got Kefka, the Court Mage. This dude's evil as fuck. Like, I don't even think you even need to play Final Fantasy VI. You can look at this card and just know this guy gives zero fucks. And we want to share that
pain and despair with our opponents.
We do. If you haven't learned anything from any TV shows or movie, most clowns are not your friend. And he is no exception.
Yeah, homie the clown, he don't play that. And neither does Kefka.
We're trying to make our opponents keep it on the low. The whole point of this is we're a Grixis deck that wants to make our friends have no hands. We don't want them clapping. We don't need any interaction. And Kefka is a monstrosity when it comes to this. Kefka states that whenever he enters or attacks, each player discards a card, and then you draw a card for each card type among the cards discarded this way.
So we're usually looking to draw 2 to 3 cards, depending on what's been discarded. Mm-hmm. Once you play Kefka, people are going trying to collude and be like, oh, we're all going to discard lands. And it's like, yeah, you are going to discard lands. You're going to discard more than that.
You're going to get rid of everything. And we take pride in the fact that you have deck variety. So thank you for extra card draw. This human wizard can flip. So the face here is already great, and for 8 generic, we can then flip him by making each opponent sacrifice a permanent of their choice. He became a god, and now is a 5/7 flyer that states when opponents lose life during your turn, you draw that many cards. This is just, we're already so ahead, and then the bonus that this is just going to give us, it just fuels the madness.
Kefka is the perfect discard commander because most discard commanders, the payoff that you get sort of sucks. I'm sorry, Tiny Bones. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And we're really building this deck to abuse the front side of Kefka. So let's get started on the discard. We are only playing high value discard cards. So first we have Bandit's Talent. It is a class for a generic and a black. When this card enters, each opponent discards 2 cards unless they discard a non-land card.
Get that out of your hand.
For a black, at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, they take 2 life. Okay, sure. And for 3 generic and a black, at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card for each opponent who has 1 or fewer cards in hand. So with Bandit's Talent, typically we can easily play this at 2. Get people, because most people will discard the 1 non-land card unless they're completely cucked.
Yeah, a handful of mana. And they're like, please don't do this.
And then we can easily just get this to level 2 because we just have extra black. Mm-hmm. And not a lot of times we're not going to have something to do with our mana. But the 3rd level there is there for cake. Like, sure, we'll go ahead and level this up and draw more cards and break parity with these discard effects.
And this one does not say player, so this is never going to hurt us. So this is always if you have extra mana, level it up. There's no downside.
Siphon Mine is 3 generic and a black. Each other player discard a card. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. It's 4 mana. You're going to, most of the time, draw 3.
Yeah. And
then they all discard 1 card, which is beautiful. Tiny Bones joins up. I love this card, even though I talked shit about Tiny Bones.
You did.
1 black. a legendary enchantment. When Tiny Bones joins up, enters the battlefield, any number of target players each discard a card. And then whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose a life. We don't really care about the second effect, but the fact that for 1 black we can hit everybody, so good. And finally, we have Unnerve. 3 generic and a black for a sorcery. Each opponent discard 2 cards. Give me that.
It's super cost effective. We're not mad at these. None of these are really going to hurt. And Tiny Bones, we still love you and your very adequately sized bones. We have a lot of, one shot, bring them down effects, but we also like the ability to kind of have these being reoccurring. There's a lot of people that are going to try to storm off, and cheap mana matters decks are definitely coming in more popular. So we have our next group of discard effects, but these ones are more enchantments and they are going to stay around. We have Bottomless Pit. For generic and 2 black, we get an enchantment that states each player's upkeep, that player discards a card at random.
Love that it's at random.
Yep. They don't get to pick. They get to flip those cards upside down, and hopefully it's not going to be what they needed. Necrogen Mist. Looks like something the Joker would immediately use. For 3, very similar concept. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player discards a card from their hand. They get to choose, but these are, multiplicative. These are going to be stacking, and we're going to have a bunch of these out. And the fact that, it's going to make it to where, you drew 2 cards because you played, 1 effect to get it. Nope, we're going to get rid of your whole hand without having to wheel. Oppression and Painful Quandary. These 2, if you have not had to play with these in a game before, these can shut out any deck very quickly. Oppression is going to state whenever you cast a spell, you have to discard a card. So if you're trying to stay up with tempo, which is kind of the key here, and you're trying to get ahead, you're playing a bunch of things, you're low to the ground, you're about to eat your hand. There's no way around it. So now you have to figure out what you're willing to cast to get rid of what so you can continue. Painful Quandary. Don't be scared of the mana cost. This thing has killed players. I have watched this whittle down life totals with pretty much no effort. You just put it out and then they want to play the game. So it's either get rid of your hand or die. You take 5 life or drop a card. And
this ear, it's so spicy.
Yeah, it's not my fault you didn't want to get rid of, the tox roll that you're holding on to.
But no, I'm storming, dog.
I need that. So these ones are going to catch heat. Your play group is definitely going to come after you when 1 or both of these are out. But the amount of payback that we're getting from this is gigantic. We're just able to we're making them have to make hard choices, and they're not able to progress as quickly as they want to. That's kind of our goal.
Slow down.
Words of waste. Okay. Apparently, we got to be super specific with our words and we don't waste time. This enchantment is disgusting. For 3 mana, 2 generic and a black, we'll get an enchantment that states for just a generic, the next time you withdraw a card, each opponent discards a card from his or her hand instead. Keep this in mind. We're going to have a discard effect happen. Let's just say, Kefka is entering or he's attacking. It doesn't matter. We just spend 2 generic into words of waste. As soon as Kefka hits, then everybody discards. If we were to draw 2 cards from that discard effect, now everyone is having to discard 2 additional cards on top of this. This is making this very basic, hey, I'm going to make everybody hit for just 1 card. Now you're hitting for 3 cards and I got cards back and there was no downside to me because I didn't have to discard. Like I only had to do the initial. So no, Words of Waste is going to turn these very simple effects and payoffs that we enjoy. We then get to then pretty much make it to where it doubles up on the amount of discard effects.
And the really messed up thing is like, hey, you want to interact on our turn? You know what? I'm just not going to draw a card for this turn. Discard that interaction you have in your hand.
yeah, exactly. No, thank you. I don't need the card draw. You don't need a hand.
Yeah, you don't. You saved 1 card? I don't think you did.
I bet that card important. I bet that one matters to you.
So we have 3 more creatures. See, these 3 are monsters, and they're constantly going to be coming in and making our opponents discard. We have Rankle, Master of Pranks. He's got 3 effects whenever he deals combat damage. You can make each player discard a card. That's the one we're going to be using.
Oh, yes.
Each player loses a life and draws a card. That's the one we're not going to be using.
No advantage for them.
And then each player sacrifices a creature. We might use this.
Maybe.
We use that
Yeah, that sounds good.
Croxa is so efficient. When it enters, we're gonna have to sacrifice it if it didn't escape. Okay. But when he enters or attacks, each opponent discards a card. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way is going to lose 3 life. And we can escape this for black, red, and 5 of the cards. I mean, we're going to be discarding cards too. It's really easy to bring this thing back, and man, you're going to have a tough time dealing with Croxa and having no hand. And Aclazotz is the final. He's Bat God.
Bat God.
Flying lifelink. Whenever he attacks, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, we will draw a card. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, we create a bat token with flying. And when it dies, it flips into a land that we don't really care about. But we can have some type of effect and bring it back from the dead.
Bat God never stay down.
And then we're really only playing 2 discard payoffs. Of course, we have to pay the God of Fright, the Timmy Eater.
Yes.
Turgid is so much better when you run it in the 99 and they have no idea it's coming.
Yes.
And then they also don't have any cards in hand to deal with the Turgid. Oh my goodness, I love playing this as a 99 instead of it being the commander.
I learned very sadly the Vicious made a Turgid deck. And Honorable is right. She is a lightning rod. And as soon as it's visible that she's about to be played because it's your commander, it's so hard to keep her out. But playing her as a 99 payoff, whoo! It's Turgid. Now discard 2 cards. Let me see what I'm getting. Early Christmas.
And then we're playing Waste Not. Unfortunately, because Kefka is an attack trigger, the second Waste Not effect that gives us 2 black usually gets wasted. We're wasting it.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to discard my life away.
But the first effect that gives us 2/2 zombies when they discard a creature, or draws us a card when they discard a non-creature, non-land, are really, really good. Especially when they're trying to make sure that we can't get anything. We're eventually going to get something.
Yeah, there's no way that they're going to stay away forever. I don't care how much card draw they have or how much removal or counter magic. There's just too much by volume that's going to get to them. You're going to be either very low on cards or have no hand, and there's no alternatives.
But Scumbag, what if I just play everything to the board and I empty my hand anyway? What are you going to do about that?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked. You see, Larry's Kefka is about us trying to maintain tempo, and the whole point of that, what that means is when people try to get ahead, we then correct them. that is the nice way of putting it. So how do we correct a bunch of, non-listening Magic players? To do so, you play nothing but board wipes. The easiest way for us to be able to handle multiple players, multiple boards, and multiple different states that they're in, well, we just say no to all of them because we're built to rebuild, and we hope that you are. So,
especially when we have no cards in hand.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shame that you have nothing else to play after you played everything, and then we got rid of it. So we're in Grixis. We are definitely not shy, and we're not afraid of board wipes. We have Blast Act and Blasphemous Edict. These are going to be the red and black equivalents. They both can just be played for either a red or 2 black, depending on how big the board is. Blast Act's going to deal 13 damage to everything, and Blasphemous Edict is going to sack 13 creatures.
Don't care, you got indestructible, buddy. Sorry.
Oops. Looks like, your board that was surviving the rest of the apocalypse. Nah, they all are Ikari'd in homage to a clown god. Chain Reaction is 100% a Vicious favorite. I have played Chain Reaction forever. This is one of my favorite cards. For 4, you deal X damage to each creature, where X is the number of totality of all creatures on the battlefield. This can easily, I have 56 scoots. Oh, great. Everything takes 56 damage. Thank you for adding to the board size. Crux of Fate, we're never really going to care, which one we pick here. If there's a bunch of dragons, fuck the dragons. If there's a bunch of non-dragons, then we pick non-dragons. We really don't care if we get hurt because the whole point, we're designed to rebuild and we're going to have a hand to rebuild when they don't. Of course, we're going to be running Damnation.
Damn!
Get that out of here. Sorry, Wolverine, you can't regenerate. This is just the classic. This is the OG price for a board wipe. It's 4 mana, it's a sorcery, and it blows up everything. I have no complaints.
Man, I'm sort of mad that I had to run this because I hate this board wipe.
I was actually very surprised to see this made the list.
But like, it's a board wipe. Final act. Can destroy all creatures, all planeswalkers. That's the reason why we're running it. You think those sneaky planeswalkers, super friend players are gonna get away? Hell no, they're getting it.
Oh my goodness. And they're always so nonchalant, like, bro, I don't even have a board. Like, bro, I don't have a. You're doing too much.
If you have battles, buy. If you have graveyards, buy. If you're trying to poison us, no.
Ooh.
If you have energy, no.
You were way too energetic over there, Madison Lee. I'm going to give you a chill pill.
And then finally, we're going to finish this off with Toxic Deluge, of course. We're just going to get rid of everything.
Melt. That's what Toxic is.
If you look at our board wipe suite, we have a board wipe for everything. There is never going to be a situation where we don't have a board wipe to get rid of something, except for those pesky enchantments and artifacts. We'll get to them.
We'll get to those boys. We're in Grixis, so of course we're going to have a ton of removal. I think my 2 favorite houses for this is Grixis and Abzan. You really have the pick of the litter. You're not hurting to pick removal here. Honorable, what do we do when we board wipe and there's still something left that we don't like?
You can dismember it.
Rip it apart.
Bye. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, Dismember's a great card. I don't know why more people don't play it. So we have Feed the Swarm in Withering Torment. They're here because enchantment players are annoying. We have to get rid of the enchantment player stuff.
They have gotten away with too much for too long. Artifacts, you got hate. We're okay with that. They got hated on. Enchantment players, Honorable brought this up to me and it has dawned on me. People be letting enchantments stay around for way too long.
Way too long. Fell the Profane and Sink of the Stupor, easy to play. They're lands.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you're drowning. You haven't hit a mana that you need desperately. It's now a land. If not, cool. It's not a land.
Infernal Grasp kills anything.
Yep.
Soul Shatter gets rid of big stuff, and those pesky people who think Indestructible will save them. No, it will not. Terminate is for Wolverine players. You will not regenerate.
Yep. Kill it with fire because it keeps coming back. And also, Soul Shatter gets rid of planeswalkers too. You thought you could get away?
Nah, not safe in these streets.
Not at all. I got it on me. I can already hear the comments. But where's the counter magic? You're in blue, Kakarot.
You know what? Sometimes you don't need to count.
Yep.
That's pretty much where I'm at with this deck. This is more of like a tap out control deck to where we're going to do everything but take counter cards from the stack. So, we'll let it resolve. We'll just blow it up as soon as it hits the battlefield. Sure.
Also, too, how are you going to hold on to that counter magic? I'm going to make you discard. And then if you blow your counter magic to stop my discard effect, I still win. I now have made you blow more cards to stop my progress. I'm built to get more cards back.
You're discarding one way.
I'm coming for you, bro. You're gonna be in your sleep in here. And you're gonna be like, please, please don't do it to us.
We are playing so much ramp.
Yeah.
So much ramp. So the reason why we're playing so much ramp is that, like, if we want to do the expensive things that we want to do, we have to be able to pay it forward. So if you can think about a Grixis Mana Rock, we're playing it. So Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Fire Diamond, Sapphire Diamond, Demir Signet, Felwar Stone, Izzet Signet, Rakdos Signet, Soul Ring, each of the 3 talismans. We got it all.
If it's worth, we're running.
Actually, we don't have a Sapphire Diamond. I lied.
He lied to you, Larry's. He did.
I think blue is the color we're running the least.
The least of, yeah.
And I think that's the only reason why it didn't make it, or it's just an oversight on my part. But Dark Ritual and Seething Song, they're really good cards. Seething Song, I feel like doesn't get as much play as it used to.
I just think people don't think that it is as powerful as it is. They haven't been in a situation to where you're on turn 3 and having the ability to play a turn 5 and you're not in green. So like to ramp you ahead 2 turns, that is a huge deal. Yeah,
the thing that this does is we're going to get to it, but we have massive creatures that take over the game immediately, especially when your opponents are in a resource deficit.
Yeah.
So if we can power them out, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Sorry that you're in the barren wastelands while I control the water source. Call me Mad Max. I'm trying to make sure that you're crossing a desert to get these cards.
And then secondarily, we have 2 more pieces of ramp that do other stuff. Black Market Connections and Monument to Endurance. Black Market, slam this. If you can slam this on turn 3, just go ahead and slam it. It is totally worth it. We will pay to get that treasure and draw that card every single time while our opponents are drowning. Monument of Endurance, it's so good because we also have to discard. So you can look at this as being a ramp piece.
Oh man, what a perfect name for what this deck does. This is a monument to endurance. The whole point of this is you're not going to last from what we're doing. So yeah, Kefka, Kefka is a monument to endurance. We're taking everybody down. We have a gigantic amount of mana. We always are going to be refilling our hands. Larry's, let's talk about what we're going to be doing to them once the board is in a state that we want it to be. We're about to drop bombs. This is about to be a massacre.
Bombs over Baghdad.
That's right. These cards, when they see them come out, who cares? They're not going to have any hand to stop it. They have no removal left, no counters, no nothing. When these are out, we begin to control the game, if not win it outright. We have Archon of Cruelty. This is a mono black monster. This thing has been destroying modern and local game tables for a while now. Archon is an 8-drop flyer that 6/6 that states when it enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Again, you thought you were getting out of here. Discards a card and loses 3 life. You draw a card and then gain 3 life. That is an absolute monster of a card. And then after it's out, you now have a flying 6/6, as if the enters or attacks trigger wasn't already enough. This thing is just, it's huge. It's huge. What are they going to do? And then you get to keep them down, and then they have to have no board, and then you just beat them to death and get card advantage and gain your life back. Archon of Cruelty is very cruel.
We have 2 Primordials here, and they are excellent. Oh man, I love these cards. Diluvian Primordial and Sepulchral Primordial. I'm so happy I said that right the first time.
That's a very good word.
They're both avatars. Diluvian Primordial says, for each opponent, you may cast up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying his mana cost. If a spell cast this way would put in the graveyard, exile it instead. And Sepulchral gives us 1 of their creatures and puts it onto the battlefield. Man, it'd be really unfortunate if somebody was, make you discard all your really good stuff. And typically when you're playing Magic and you have the 8-drop in your hand, but you only have 3 mana, and you're like, man, okay.
I might as well.
You might as well just let this go first. Yeah, that was a fucking mistake.
That's such a very fair point. You're not going to sit on your Diluvian Primordial. It's a 7-drop. You're not going to sit on that on turn 3. You're not going to keep it. You're like, well, if I had to discard anything, I might as well get rid of the thing I can't play. Oh, no. And now we get it? Oh, back in blood for sure.
Big and back.
We have Gary the Snail, aka Young Toxrill, another 7-drop slug, and he is a 7/7 and states at the beginning of each end step, you put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. And then whenever a creature you don't control dies with a slime counter on it, you get a 1/1 black slug. And then for Dimir, you can sacrifice a slug. If you do, you draw a card.
Anybody who's ever had the displeasure to play against this card knows if you are a creature deck,
it's over.
You're not going to be a creature deck for long.
Oh, man.
If this card does not get answered quickly, it will take over the game. What if you ain't got no answers?
If you have no hand, well, then, Gary the Snail is going to be begging you for food constantly.
You better pray to the top deck gods.
Please let it be a Path to Exile.
Land.
Please. No! And then Hullbreaker Horror. Just the mono blue. I'm going to get that back to your hand. This thing is just so good in so many decks, and it really fits well here. We have a 7-drop, 7/8 with flash that can't be countered, and states that whenever we cast a spell, we can choose one. Either we return a spell that we don't control to its owner's hand, aka it's a tucking counter spell, or B, we can return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. The point is, this is going to allow us to then just every time we play something, the person who, went before me that has something out after I've just decimated the field, put that back to your hand.
Hey, it'd be a really cool way. I'm not going to destroy it. No,
yeah,
I'm not.
No.
Yeah, just put it back to your hand and discard it.
Oh, man. Hullbreaker is going to allow us to keep them down, and it's going to make it very hard to deal with, because then we're going to start bouncing their mana rocks, and it's going to make it to where their advantage that they did have to kind of survive this. No, you're going to put that back.
Yeah, we're your commander. Oh, your commander. You wanted to put that in the command zone, put it in your hand, then put it into the graveyard, then put it in your command zone. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure, fine. Hoarding Broodlord. See, typically in old honorable fashion, this would be set up for the classic Sawed in Half.
Yep.
And then we didn't do that. I was gracious. Some of y'all don't like combos. Sure, we won't do it.
If you do like combos, it's a really easy include.
It's really easy include. You already want to play. We already sort of want to play Saw in Half.
Yeah.
Because, funny.
Who wouldn't want 2 Archons of Cruelty?
Hey, discard 2 cards when I cut this Kefka in half.
Yeah.
Sure. But we did it. Hoarding Broodlord just goes and grabs one of the other bombs. Honestly, we have enough mana that we can cast Hoarding Broodlord past the turn. It's in exile. She's gonna cast it.
And then we're going to go get, Hullbreaker. It's like whatever piece makes the most sense. Like, we're fighting a token deck and he kind of got some token stuff out. Let's go get Toxrill. Like, this is just going to allow us to go get whatever we need because it's a card and we don't really care what we have to do to go get it.
We have Nicole herself, Miss Bolus. We have Nicopolis God Pharaoh is 7 mana, enters with 7 loyalty.
That's a big boy.
Big boy. +2. He's at 9 now. He's 6 upside down.
It's a 9 now.
Target opponent exile cards from the top of the library until they exile a non-land card. Until end of turn, you can cast it without paying its mana cost. Sure. Cool.
That's so neat.
This is my favorite one. This is the demoralizing one. +1. Each opponent exiles 2 cards from their hand.
Yeah. This is the meanest way. Like, you kind of like your graveyard? Yeah, I don't like that you like your graveyard. Let's just put that into nothing. Let's put those there.
Dog, give me those cards. This wasn't cool enough. This is why you can ramp into him early and just rip people's hands apart. Cool. Fine. -4. Nicopolis deals 7 damage to target opponent, creature opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. So if it was big, it's dead now.
If it was another Nicopolis, there's only one.
There can only be one. And then -12 will just end somebody. Exile each non-land permanent your opponent's control.
Yeah. If they let this get to, if they let you plus him, pretty much 5 times, it's over. And we can probably get away with that without much effort.
The other Nicopolis, if I told you is worse, the Ravager, he enters, everybody's going to discard a card. Let me get that.
Tasty.
We can flip him for the same cost of the other Nicopolis, and then he enters with 7 loyalty. +2, we're going to draw 2 cards. Excellent. Sure.
Thank you, Nicopolis. Thank you, Nicole.
-3. He deals 10 damage to target creature or planeswalker. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
He got the blick.
-4. Put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield underneath your control.
Ooh, it says a graveyard too.
-12. Shout out to our favorite cop friend. Exile all but the bottom card of target opponent's life. You're out of here. You're gone.
Oh my goodness. The pesky player that has some type of defense against us.
I'm not coming back.
I'm not going to die to you. I got this. You can't get past my... No, you don't have a library.
I have an answer.
That's cool.
No, you don't.
You did. You have Shuffle Titans? No, you don't.
Doesn't matter. Exiled.
Man, that is a you just got leveled. That's what that is. That's a leveler. You get leveled. Your library? No, you didn't have one.
Sure. Cool.
Nicobolus is the king of gaslighting.
No, also likes to gaslight Valky, your favorite ex-boyfriend, god of lies.
And you know he ain't paying for him.
1 in a black. He's a god. 2/1. Really good on the front side. Whenever he enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a card. They revealed this way until Valky leaves. Pay their generic cost for their mana value. Valky becomes that creature.
Not bad. If we hit something and it's gigantic or awesome, cool.
Yeah, he's sort of like a discard spell temporarily, but we're not playing him like that. Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter, Master Gaslighter.
He went to college to learn how to, enunciate better. He's going to gaslight you with flair.
He gets an emblem. As it enters, you get an emblem. You may play cards exiled with Tybalt, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those cards. So even if Tybalt goes away, if it got exiled by this card, we have it.
Yep, we don't need the card to play the cards later.
5 loyalty, +2, top card of each player's library. I need that.
Like hold on, what's your face? Dinosaur, Atali. Like a planeswalker Atali, and we get to save him for later too?
Give me that, like Chris Brown used to say.
Give me that.
-3. Exile target artifact creature. That planeswalker, mine. No, sorry. That commander, mine. Put it back in your commands.
You decide.
Either I'm going to cast it or you going to put it back. -8. Not that hard to get to.
No.
We +2 twice. We -8. Exile all cards from all graveyards. You add 3 red.
Yo, the 3 red was just disrespectful.
Spit in your eye.
Pocket change.
Spit in your eye.
Like, I guess I could talk to you.
All right. Both of you, all 3 of y'all got soul rings. Yeah, that's all soul rings.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
And the dude who the gaslighter moth himself.
Yes.
Gaslit a whole plane.
Yep, it's his now.
Gaslit a little girl to make the plane his. Valgovoth is a true villain.
Yes, he is. He's a true villain. He is the main villain from Stranger Things, if you didn't know. That's his other show that he owns.
Hate this guy. 6 generic, black, Elder Daemon, 9/9, flying, lifelink, ward. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite wards in the game. It's one of them. I adore this one.
Jeez, please. No. Those lands, you get to keep them.
Again, pocket change. You can keep your forests.
Yeah, you keep those. I don't need...
Yeah, ew.
If a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard for anywhere, exile it.
Sorry, other recursion decks. It's a shame that you have a moth to deal with.
Cool. Hope you have removal that you don't have. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgovoth. If you cast a spell this way, you may pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. Jeez.
It's a Bolas Citadel. It's Nicobolus, his favorite moth, in its own little blood bowl. And it's here to make you fight for card advantage. Welcome to the plane.
Well, welcome to hell.
Yes. Are you seeing what we're putting down, Larry's? Are you feeling this clown that's about to beat you down? He makes Hisoka look like child's play. The Joker looked up to this man. This is the magic card that laughs.
Oh my goodness.
We do need some reanimation spells, and we need some, a little bit of recursion here.
Eat that buffalo and the gristle.
That's right. We need all pieces and all parts. Nothing goes goes to waste in Clown Town. We're either going to be taking stuff from their graveyard or we're going to get it back from ours. We have the classic Reanimate. Just for a black, we get to put a creature from a graveyard under our control onto the battlefield. Only downside, lose life equal to its mana value. Who cares? I'm going to get the best thing that's out or my piece that went away. Animate Dead has a paragraph of text. It is pretty much Reanimate. Except it is slightly weaker than it normally is. That's the only real, you don't have to worry about it. If you read it, it will explain that when you play it, then you pick something and then put it on it. And then when it leaves, and it's Reanimate.
These two cards are Tia and Tamara. One's finer, just by a little bit. Breach the Multiverse is the fine sister.
It's so strong. It's so strong.
Each player mills 10 cards. For each player, choose a creature or planeswalker in that player's graveyard. Put that card onto the battlefield under your control, and then each creature is a Phyrexian in addition to its other types.
Oh, keep a note too. It didn't have that stupid wording to where it says, from the cards milled this way.
Nah. Give me that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. Oh, you whiffed on the mill? Who cares? I know what I made you discard. I know what's in there.
And then we're just going to get 10 cards off the top. Just in case. I want to see you got some better stuff.
I've been keeping you hands free. You know what you could have drawn? You want to see it?
Oh my goodness. That person instantly, like, you're going to hit their best card off the 10. You're not even going to reanimate it.
They're going to immediately scoop. That's a scoop card.
Yeah, you ever been beat with your own creature? Afterlife of the Loam is like Breach the Multiverse, not fine sister. I mean, she's still fine, but she ain't as fun as the other sister.
I ain't gonna tell her that.
But she'll come. She's more willing to go out on a date with you.
You have a better chance, but
because she's got Delve, so you can exile cards from your graveyard to pay for some of the generic cost.
She's okay with a cheap date.
Yeah, she got a better personality than Breach the Multiverse. So, again, for each player, choose up to one target creature card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. They're zombies. In addition to the other types.
They were mecha Phyrexians. Now they're zombies.
And we're not done with that buffalo, man. We cut his fur off. We ate the meat.
Delicious.
We chewed on his grizzle
like bubble gum.
Now I'm gonna pop his eyeballs out and make him blink.
Don't blink. You'll miss it.
But yes, we're running a tiny blink package. Displacer Kitten is one of the grossest cards that have ever been printed.
Yes.
Ever. You wanna see something really funny? It's when you have Displacer Kitten and you reanimate a Diluvian Primordial. Real funny. You're gonna get every instant and sorcery out of their graveyard pronto.
Because every time you play it, and then every time you play it, every time you play it,
Edward.
Repeatable effects are always the strongest. And we have two that are pretty much doing the exact same thing. We got Thassa, Thought of the Ocean. She'd be deep in it. And then, of course, we got the closet. That your boyfriend just came out of.
R. Kelly, please.
I don't know why so many people taking my songs. These both are going to do the same thing. They're going to say, hey, it's your end step. Would you like to make a creature go? If you do, yes. We're just going to be flickering anything that has a tasty ETB. And there are tons of them. The commander included. We have tons of options and things to go for. The sky's the limit. You can start to do some really fun things. And if they're both out, then cool. We just get to double up.
And then Malakir Rebirth is not a blink effect, but it's so like your life flashing before your eyes. And then you come back to life. You're like, holy shit.
You're like, oh, I'm not going to die.
Yeah, essentially, like, I wanted to run 38 lands, and I was just like, might as well. And then finally, if there's one thing that we want to not take from our opponent, we don't want to take, we only want to give, like the group hug deck we are.
Aww.
We want to give them, we want to leave them anger.
They took everything. He took everything from me.
Yeah, so you hit that Christmas land hand when you had the ramp into the Kefka, and you discarded the Valgavoth, and then next turn you attack, and then you discard the Anger, and you reanimate the Valgavoth, so he's able to attack the same turn. Just sure.
Think of your honorable and vicious scumbag. Think of us and say, gee golly, I'm sure glad that I was subscribed to Longturnlarry for such good content. Because that's what this is. And we put a lot of time into it because we love you and we love the craft. And we hope that you guys are liking what you're seeing so far. So with that said, if you're not subscribed, we see that a lot of you aren't. Thank you for coming by and watching our videos. Please subscribe so that you get more of this kind of content. We're going to continue to make wonderful deck techs and just bring you just overall just fire magic content, because this is the kind of stuff your girlfriend's scared that you're listening to. And she should be right.
This deck is evil. Like, I just want... Like, some of our decks are fun and they're nice and they're...
Yeah.
No, this one was created to emphasize the hatred and the pain that the main characters of Final Fantasy VI had to go through, and he wins. That's a great thing.
Yeah, he wins.
And this is you're gonna win your first game, and then on the second game, they're gonna come back for that ass.
Yeah, they aren't gonna find your court mage clown jokes funny anymore.
Just have the Kefka laughing. Just every time you make them discard, just replay it.
And it's such a good laugh. It is very mean. It's a very good classic 8-bit meme laugh.
But that's the end of this. I am your honorable sensei, and across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And together we are Longturnlarry
Podcast.
Clowns.